Hey guys, tonight on Margaret Radio, Health in Later Life, we're going on a quiet little stroll, not outside, but in your mind. Just picture it, you're walking slowly through a tree-lined path, each step cushioned by fallen leaves or soft gravel, a light breeze brushing your cheek, and somewhere in the distance, a bird chirps as if it's politely applauding your effort. There's no rush. Your pace is easy. Your breath is steady. And you feel that subtle, calm rhythm settle in, like your body is saying, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And tonight, we're going to talk about that very feeling and why it's more powerful than you might think. Because that simple walk you take each day, maybe around the block, through a park, or even just back and forth in your living room, might be quietly protecting your heart in a way you haven't fully appreciated. We'll be easing into the story of how walking daily can help reduce your risk of something called myocardial infarction, which, if you're not quite sure, is the clinical name for what most of us simply call a heart attack. Don't worry, there's no quiz, and you won't need a medical degree. Just a little curiosity, a cozy blanket, and maybe a mug of warm tea nearby. And if you're like me, sometimes you start wondering, am I doing enough for my health? Right after you've eaten 2 cookies instead of 1. It's okay. Health isn't a sprint. It's a gentle, ongoing stroll, sometimes with pit stops for cookies. We're not here to judge. We're just here to understand, together. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you'd like to share, I'd really love to know, where are you listening from right now? And what time is it where you are? Drop your location and the hour down in the comments. There's something cozy about knowing we're all tuning in from different corners of the world, at different moments of the night. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You breathe in, and let your shoulders drop, just a little. Maybe your feet are tucked under a blanket, maybe your cat is curled up beside you, or maybe you're simply listening in the quiet space of your room, eyes heavy, thoughts drifting like leaves on water. And while your body rests, your mind begins to wander into a question you didn't realize you were carrying. Could something as simple as walking, just walking, really keep your heart stronger, safer, and more peaceful? Let's begin. It starts quietly, as most things do. You don't always feel it right away, not with flashing lights or sirens in your body, but rather like a little bit of noise in the background that you've grown used to. Maybe it's the slight pressure when you climb the stairs, or the way you pause more often during your walks, not because you're tired, but because something just feels off. Your heart, that steady drum you've carried through every birthday, every morning coffee, every moment of stress and joy, it doesn't ask for much. But when it starts to suffer, especially from something like a myocardial infarction, it's usually because it's been quietly overwhelmed for quite some time. And while the word infarction sounds like something that should be delivered in a locked medical file, all it really means is that part of the heart isn't getting enough blood. And when that happens, the heart muscle doesn't just get tired. It gets damaged. You see, your heart is like a little engine that runs constantly, day, night, through sleep, through worry, through laughter. But for it to work well, it needs fuel. Oxygen-rich blood delivered through its own set of highways called the coronary arteries. Now, here's the thing, over time, those arteries can narrow. Not suddenly, but gradually, like how a stream slows down when leaves and twigs gather. This narrowing is often caused by plaque, a sticky mix of fat, cholesterol, and other substances that latch onto artery walls. And when one of these plaques breaks open, your body tries to repair it by forming a clot. But that clot can block blood flow entirely. That's when an infarction, commonly known as a heart attack, can occur. One well-established fact: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, and lack of physical activity are major contributors to this process. But among all these, inactivity often sneaks in unnoticed. It's not just about sitting too long, though many of us do, but about a lifestyle that slowly forgets movement as a daily ritual. And maybe you've heard people say, "I'm not much of an exerciser." That's okay. You don't have to be. Because walking isn't about pounding pavement in gym shoes with a heart rate monitor strapped to your chest. It can be a quiet, simple movement that your heart deeply appreciates. One comforting insight you might not hear often: your heart doesn't measure your fitness by how fast you walk. It simply rejoices when you move regularly. That's it. A stroll to the mailbox, a lap around the kitchen while the kettle boils, or a walk down the garden path. These seemingly small efforts are cumulative blessings for your heart. Let's slow it down even further. Think about a day when you felt a little more sluggish. Maybe it had rained all day, or your joints were particularly stiff, or the news had worn you out. And so you didn't walk. And maybe the next day felt similar. One day blends into the next, and before long, the body adapts, not to energy, but to stillness. That's when the risks quietly increase. Another cause to be aware of is stress. Not the big, movie scene kind of stress, but the gentle, grinding stress of everyday life: bills, relationships, sleep troubles, feeling like you've lost track of your own needs. Chronic stress raises blood pressure, encourages inflammation, and can even affect how your blood clots. And here's a phrase you'll hear often: everyone experiences heart problems differently. That's true. Some people feel crushing chest pain. Others feel only shortness of breath, or fatigue, or a cold sweat. Sometimes it's a strange sense of unease. That's why understanding your body's rhythms is so important. There's also a deeply human cause we don't talk about enough: disconnection. Disconnection from your body. Disconnection from others. Disconnection from movement. As we age, especially in later life, routines shift. Friends move, loved ones pass on, and sometimes, loneliness fills the spaces that used to be full of noise and interaction. Without meaning to, you might find yourself moving less, eating more out of comfort, and forgetting the little cues your body used to give you. Not because you don't care, but because life got busy, or quiet, or complicated. It's also worth knowing that women, particularly in later life, may experience heart attack symptoms differently than men. You might have heard this whispered at a health seminar or written on a leaflet at the doctor's office. But it's important. Less chest pain, more fatigue. More subtle cues. And that means you have to trust your body when it speaks quietly. One more gentle reminder here: genetics do play a role, but they are not the whole story. Just because your father or grandmother had a heart attack doesn't mean you are destined for one. Your lifestyle, your daily choices, especially those small choices like walking, can powerfully rewrite that script. So as you lay there now, listening, you might reflect on your own relationship with movement. Not in a guilty way, but in a curious, forgiving way. Do you walk most days? Do you move with intention, even if it's just across the room? Are there gentle hills in your neighborhood you haven't explored in a while? Are your shoes near the door, or tucked away in a closet? You might even start to imagine how a walk could feel tomorrow. The sound of gravel underfoot. The scent of blooming flowers or fresh air after rain. The way your heart might say, "Thank you," in the quietest way. This is the beginning of understanding why walking isn't just good exercise, it's a daily gift to your heart. A gentle, rhythmic lullaby that keeps its beat steady and its walls strong. And in a world full of reasons why we might stop moving, this is one of the kindest reasons to begin again. So here you are, listening quietly. Maybe your legs are gently tucked beneath a blanket, or maybe you're lying flat, arms resting by your side, your breath rising and falling in its own steady rhythm. And that rhythm, it's not unlike walking itself. Calm. Repetitive. Reliable. You see, your heart doesn't crave marathons. It's not asking you to jog up steep hills or press weights in a gym. What it truly loves, what it thrives on, is consistency. Gentle, daily movement that keeps the blood flowing like a well-loved path through a forest. That's why walking, just walking, is one of the most powerful solutions for reducing the risk of myocardial infarction. Let's start with something familiar. When you walk, your legs aren't the only things working. Your muscles contract and relax in a rhythm, almost like a second heartbeat. This rhythm helps to push blood back toward your heart, supporting circulation and reducing the strain on that hard-working pump in your chest. That's a well-established fact in cardiovascular health. Walking regularly can help lower blood pressure, regulate cholesterol levels, and improve insulin sensitivity, all key players in preventing heart attacks. And think about this: when you walk outside even for just 10 or 15 minutes, something happens. The sun touches your skin, offering a little vitamin D. Your lungs stretch a bit more as you breathe. Your thoughts might begin to wander, softening the noise of daily worries. All these quiet benefits add up, especially over time. There's a comforting insight here that might not be talked about enough. Your walks don't need to be fast or long. In fact, slow walks, especially after meals, can do wonders. They help with digestion, manage blood sugar levels, and gently condition your heart. So even if you feel like you're not exercising, you are absolutely doing something meaningful. Now let's build a little picture together. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding to take a walk. Not a power walk. Just a walk. You put on your softest shoes. The ones that feel kind to your feet. Maybe you wear a sweater or a sun hat, depending on the weather. You don't need a destination, just a few quiet moments to move. The birds might be calling, or maybe it's just the breeze brushing past your cheeks. As you walk, your shoulders begin to lower. Your breaths deepen. Your joints feel a bit looser, a bit more willing. You might notice how different your neighborhood looks when you're walking instead of driving. The flowers. The trees. That little painted stone someone left on the curb. It all begins to feel alive again. And inside you, your heart is working steadily, smoothly. It's not racing, it's not straining. It's responding. Blood vessels widen just a little. Blood flows more freely. Inflammation eases, ever so gently. And that brings us to another solution, one that pairs beautifully with walking: mindful breathing. You might not think breathing matters to your heart, but it does. When you breathe deeply and calmly, your parasympathetic nervous system engages your body's natural rest and digest mode. This helps slow the heart rate and reduce blood pressure. Try it now, just for a moment. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and out through your mouth. That simple motion is a gift to your heart. Let's talk for a moment about support. Sometimes, walking alone feels difficult, not because the body can't, but because the mind hesitates. That's where walking with others can help. A neighbor. A pet. A friend on the phone. You don't have to talk much. Just knowing someone else is walking with you, even virtually, can make a world of difference. Have you ever noticed that some days are harder than others? That's okay. Heart health isn't built in a day. It's built in the quiet commitment to keep moving, even when the skies are grey or the knees are a little sore. And on those days, consider walking indoors. Marching in place during a TV show, circling the kitchen while dinner simmers, taking the stairs once or twice more than usual. These moments add up. Now, hydration, such a simple act, but so vital. Drinking enough water helps keep the blood thinner, more fluid. That reduces strain on the heart and improves circulation. So before your walk, or after, sip some water. Let it refresh you. Another solution lies in what you eat before or after your walk. Foods rich in omega-3s, like walnuts or salmon, help protect the heart. Leafy greens and berries support blood vessels. These aren't dramatic changes, just little daily nudges toward nourishment. And don't forget footwear. One often overlooked tip: wearing comfortable, supportive shoes reduces fatigue and strain on your joints, making it easier to stay consistent. If your feet hurt, your walks will dwindle. Kindness begins at the soles. Some days, your body might give you feedback like a tightness in the chest, or breath that feels shallower than usual. That's when it's time to listen carefully. Not every ache is a warning, but some are. And there's no harm in checking in with a professional, even if just for peace of mind. Knowing when to seek help is a strength, not a weakness. Here's a phrase you've likely heard before: different things work for different people. That's true in heart health too. Some people walk best in the morning light. Others enjoy a sunset stroll. Some like podcasts or quiet music in their ears, while others just listen to the world. Find your rhythm. Let walking feel like a reward, not a task. If you're someone who enjoys tracking things, a simple pedometer or phone app can be a gentle motivator. Not to compete. Just to notice. To celebrate progress. 10 steps more than yesterday? That's a win. Every step counts. And here's a secret: the heart remembers. The effort you put in today echoes into tomorrow. Even when you're resting, your heart benefits from the walks you took earlier in the week. That's the beauty of cumulative care. You're never starting from scratch. One final thought for now: pair your walks with joy. Walk past a favorite garden. Stop by a bakery window. Let your walks connect you to pleasure and calm, not just health. Because when walking becomes part of the life you love, not just something you have to do, it becomes a habit that sticks. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, think of walking not as a chore, but as a kindness. A gift to yourself. A way to say, I'm still here. I'm still moving. I still care for this heart. And as you listen now, maybe your feet are beginning to itch just slightly, ready to stretch. That's your heart saying thank you. Not with a drumbeat, but with quiet readiness. For another walk. For another day. Your breath has slowed now. You feel it, that ease creeping into your chest, your shoulders, your fingers. Like the lightest sheet settling over you on a warm night. It's gentle. And you've earned it. The stillness here is different, not empty, but full. Full of understanding, full of calm, full of something you may not have even realized you were seeking. Tonight, we talked about walking. Just that. Walking. The kind you've known since childhood, only now it wears a new face, not just movement, but medicine. Not just a habit, but hope. You've seen how each step, each moment you choose to rise and move, sends a ripple through your entire body, through your blood, through your heart, through the very pathways that keep you here, living and loving. Walking isn't just about going somewhere. It's about staying. Staying present in your life. Staying strong enough to meet each new day. Staying connected to the rhythm of your body, your breath, your beating heart. You remember now the simple shoes by the door, the way morning light pours across the sidewalk, the hush of early hours before the world starts moving. That small decision to open the door and step out, it carries such weight. Not the heavy kind. The kind that steadies you, that grounds you, that reminds you, you are participating in your own health. You are not a bystander. You are not waiting for trouble to come. You are walking forward, every day, with quiet power. Maybe your pace isn't quick. Maybe you pause more than you used to. That's okay. Because this journey isn't measured in miles. It's measured in moments of care for your heart, for your breath, for the body that has carried you through so many seasons. You picture it now, the walk you'll take tomorrow. Maybe it's just to the mailbox. Maybe a lap around the park. Maybe with a friend, or with a gentle playlist in your ears. Maybe just you and the rustle of leaves or the tap of your cane. There's no wrong version of this. There's only you showing up, step after step, even when no one's watching. And in this softness, in this quiet room where you now rest, something else settles in, reassurance. That you have what you need. That you can be your own partner in healing. That even in the smallest actions, you are nurturing the strongest parts of yourself. Your heart, that beautiful rhythm keeper, thanks you. For listening. For learning. For walking. And now, it beats a little more calmly, knowing that you've heard it. So as you rest tonight, as the edges of the day fade and your thoughts begin to float, you know you're not alone. You've joined so many others who are learning to move gently, live intentionally, and protect what matters most. Let go now. Of tension, of worry, of anything that doesn't serve this peaceful moment. Let your breathing guide you like a lullaby. Let your body feel supported. And know, just know, that this, right here, is part of your healing, too. You're safe. You're doing beautifully. You're loved by others, and, in growing ways, by yourself. Tomorrow will come. But tonight, you just rest. Let the hum of quiet carry you. Let sleep arrive softly, like morning fog over still water. You've walked far enough today. Good night.